Aloha, y'all. Aloha, y'all. Rabbit, rabbit. It is the first of the month. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up. Gotta get that cake up, right? October 1st. It is a Thor's Day, ruled by Thor. Today is a Vishuddha chakra day, throat chakra day. So, um, do the mantras, do the mudras, find the magic in doing all your chakras, but today specifically will be that. And in the first of the month, this new month, October, is going to be a white, self existing world bridger guided by spirit. The full moon in Aries, 2:05 p.m. I'm not sure what time zone that's saying, but soon, right? The sun is in Libra, the moon is in Aries. It'll be full moon in Aries, and the sun is opposing the moon, right? Libra is on the opposite side of the zodiac as uh, Aries. Mercury is in Scorpio, Venus is in Leo, Mars is in Aries, in retrograde. There's other things, but I just kind of talk about the personal planets because, Jupiter is still in Capricorn. That's going to be a thing for a while. Those don't change as much, right? Let's go ahead and get a card for this Thursday. We just had an intense 3.5 hour, I think, long podcast yesterday on Team Rabbit Hole with a former UN worker and a guy who has been leading demonstrations in Vienna and Europe and stuff about 5G. Fascinating where that went into. Check that out if you haven't. And I just want to take a moment and say how much I fucking appreciate my bae, my wife-to-be, Haley. She is so cool. I love how we have our quiet times doing gene keys and talking, catching up, pulling cards. I wouldn't be nearly as happy or working towards my highest self without her. So my better half, Haley. I love you, Haley. Shout out. So we got the Ace of Cups. What a good way to start this month, right? Aces are beginnings, and with a full moon, we're going to be releasing quite a bit, and we can look to this as what comes in during this full moon release, right? So cups are emotions. If you're a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, you're going to naturally have a proclivity towards this sign, this suit. And aces, like I said, are the beginning of things, new initiations, and what? Emotionality and creativity. Let me just make this a little darker over here so you can see what's going on. So, Ace of Cups, allow the replenishing energy to wash over you, abundance of growth, offering your creative brilliance and love. The Ace of Cups, I overflow with the essence of life. The great joyful climax of celebration pours from the cup after a sacrifice of time, energy, and comfort. It's been a rough couple weeks, I feel, for everybody. It can be the union with self or another. Haley, shout out. The graceful sense of accomplishment and fullness after a long and arduous journey. Every drop of vitality has been used to reach this point. In the Ace of Cups artwork, a beautifully crafted cup or chalice of gold and silver is present. And it's funny because the Gene Key 25, I think we were reading today, which I have, maybe it was 26. I'm forgetting, but one of about Universal Love and was saying the chalice. We're talking about the Grail, so a huge sync there for Haley and myself, as well as anybody into the Gene Keys. It overflows with life-giving waters gathered from the clouds, ravishing and pure. The abundance of life-sustaining water heralds new life, cracks open the scorched clay earth below to reveal the hidden jewel of fecundity which lies beneath. Golden roots are nourished, growing and anchoring, seeking new intelligent pathways. They send the twisted vine bursting into the sky into freedom. A lotus flower, sensual and exquisite, innocently blooms in the foreground. It symbolizes the purity we reach when we overcome the muddy waters of attachment and desire. And with the moon in Aries, we're trying to emotionally overcome attachments, right? With the sun in Libra, we're trying to balance this and make it beautiful. With Mercury and Scorpio, we're going into the depths, going to the bottom and lifting up the lotus from the deepest mud, right? To make it beautiful, to make it true. This card carries the energy of one who sacrifices for the love of another, the love which traverses harsh conditions and triumphs even when it seems there's nothing left to give. That's some Moon and Aries stuff. It's like, I'm going to give beyond I'm going to give all myself to it. and just go be a warrior in this way. The power to grow and flourish is released. The sacred milk of life spills over in celebration. The tide comes in at last, the replenishing water returns, and everything feels the surge of this peak experience. This ecstatic pulse of existence rises and sweeps away negativity, cleansing you of past sacrifices and discomforts, renewing you. With Mercury in Scorpio, we might be coming over what our sacrifices and maybe pains have been in our journey, and we can actually release those things more fully now. And especially with Chiron in Aries and the full moon in Aries and Mars in retrograde in Aries, like we have to be coming to a place of release of maybe wounds, trauma, expectations of the self, and be like, I'm more than my story, but your story includes transcending the story, if that makes sense. Pretty big stuff tonight during this full moon. The Ace of Cups communicates the energy of regeneration. Barren items can now bear fruit. Ideas requiring a tremendous amount of hard work and sacrifice can now be realized. Consciously open yourself to receive this nourishing stream of calm, flowing energy into your life and see it birth new life. The theme of regeneration is connected to the fountain of youth and mythological tales. The search for the spring which purportedly restores the youth of anyone who drinks its waters, thus becoming re-enchanted with life. For the fountain enlivens those who with creative possibilities. As life nourishes you, so you wish to give in return. We're blessed to be a blessing. It's that simple. Offer your brilliance to the altar of love, a deep loving and appreciation for the life you've been gifted. The altar of love, Libra sun. It's like, I want to bring beauty and balance and harmony to that which, as within, so without, as above, so below. I want to participate well. And with the moon in Aries, full moon in Aries, we're going to be able to release maybe the distractions of self, or kind of shed the immaturity and the impulsiveness to a place of like maturity and ownership and boss ass mode emotionally, right? With the Ace of Cups, it's like saying you got a new journey ahead of you emotionally and creatively if you so choose to drink from that cup. Very cool. I shut the book, of course, getting all excited. Whoopsie doodles. So, Ace of Cup, allowing the replenishing energy to wash over you, like a baptism, essentially. Abundance of growth and offering your creative brilliance and love. Shine. Shine hard, shine deep, right? And sing the song of creation through your blood. So, what is Dreams of Gaia going to tell us today? I've got a song stuck in my head, which may be what I play, but I've set up my guitar to play my electric. I've got an Our Lady Peace song stuck in my head. Faith. That is some Ace of Cups. The Grail, being like, I've replenished my cup. And faith is very much resonant with that, in the sense of like you have a new place of faith. You have a new journey of heartedness, right? Faith. Interesting. I've not seen this card, so I'm kind of just taking a gander. The Eye of Providence. God looking upon us all. So, faith is, I believe, 14. Let me just check this out. It's the last major arcana in this. So 152. Let's see what she do. Faith. Faith, self-belief, confidence, divine connection, trust, serenity, and surrender. Key phrases: faith is beautiful. Self-belief helps you to overcome. Self-belief and faith inspire confidence. Self-belief is that moon in Aries. I have belief in myself. I have energy and emotionality and integrity and life, viv, emotionally, in a powerful warrior way, right? The self. Aries' first house is the self. Doubt breeds mistakes. Cruel words can do lasting harm. Do not give up because of past mistakes. Be kind and supportive. Set yourself believable goals. You matter. You are enough. You are not alone. Do not be unkind because others have been unkind to you. That's the Libra thing. Don't just tit for tat it. And Scorpio, Mercury, don't just like attack because you feel victimized. Take delight in compliments. Take the kind words of others and absorb them. With the moon in Aries, we want to feel better about ourselves. And with a full moon, it's about like really kind of harvesting, I guess, the emotionality of what our journey for ourself looks like. And with the Ace of Cups as the card for the day, we have the chance to step into a real power of renewal, replenishment, rejuvenation, baptism into the next level, the next octave. Meaning, to have faith, the 8th of the influence cards, is a beautiful thing. It inspires a feeling of serenity that is unshakable. With faith comes a level of self-confidence that sees you capable of overcoming all that life throws at you. To have self-belief gives you confidence when facing new and challenging situations. When out in a social setting, you are comfortable to be yourself. Having self-belief allows you to enjoy life more because you are less troubled by insecurity. You're not imbalanced, the Libra sun, right? So with the scales, when you have the moon in Aries in a positive way with a full moon, we can be like, I know and accept and love myself, and I forgive everywhere I've been, and I'm willing to drink forth the new life. Like that kind of energy is happening. With faith in yourself and your abilities, you stand a greater chance of having a successful career. You are more confident in taking well-considered risks. You are healthier and happier because you are under less pressure and emotional and mental stress. In turn, your relationships with others will be better also. Sun and Libra. It helps the whole fucking yourself and others and how you relate to others. On the other hand, a lack of belief or faith can be seen in our moods, the way we speak about ourselves, our body language, and actions. Without faith and belief in self, every decision can become an almost excruciating process. If you do not believe that you will succeed or do well, then, sadly, there is an increased chance that you will not. Doubt and a lack of faith breeds mistakes, procrastination, and self-sabotage. With Mercury and Scorpio, we might be over-scrutinous with things, and we're just like nitpicking and not letting go, being kind of obsessive about our mind, our thoughts, like our perceptions. We have to kind of let that shit go. That is the threshold between, seeing the path and walking the path, ultimately. But know this, you are not unimportant. You are somebody. You are unique. Moon in Aries. Full moon in Aries is like, I am me. Hear me roar, right? Like, check me out. Self, Aries. You are somebody. You are unique. You have gifts. You have strengths. You have talents. You are bright with potential, and if you believe in yourself, you will shine. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self-belief, you can accomplish great things, even miracles. So, belief in yourself does not require a little effort or Belief in yourself does require a little effort and introspection. Introspection, right? Being that Mercury and Scorpio. It's like you're going to look at yourself scrupulously, possibly right now. To increase self-belief, you need to know who you are and to consider why you lack confidence and self-belief in the first place. Are you uncertain and unsure of your path? Do you feel that all you do is not good enough? The faith card in the present position, which is where this is for us, asks you to have faith. Believe you're good enough. Drink deep. It's okay. You're loved. It's all good. In fact, you're not only good enough, but you are enough. You are a definition of what you need to be at any time. That's why you're where you're at. We all are. Yes, we all can be more. We can all be better, but we are also enough. Paradox of the Libra scales, right? It's like you are everything you need to be, and you have things you can still move towards. All that we strive to become is because we choose to be better, not because we are not good enough in the present. Faith in the present comes to tell you that you are not alone and that your dreams and aspirations are a wonderful thing. You're not alone, Libra sun, like there's others, right? And your dreams, your hopes are things that drive you, full moon in Aries, right? Trust in your aspirations. Trust in yourself. All will unfold as it's meant to. Trust in yourself. Those around you believe in you, so it is the time for you to believe in yourself. Having a belief in a higher power or spiritual path can be a great benefit. Ace of Cups. Get spiritual. Maybe you've been dry on the spiritual front for a minute and you're just like, it's time to get right with the spirit. It is not about embracing religion, but embracing connection. Cultivate the belief that you are a part of something larger because you are. We are all connected, and simple awareness and celebration of that connection can bring serenity or peace. You are being watched over. You are worthy of happiness and abundance. Meet obstacles in your path with a smile and confidence. You are strong enough to overcome them and to continue forward. Yes, life is likely to offer you moments of heartbreak and pain, because life is a scale, right? There's both joy and pain. There's a duality happening, a polarity. So both and. But if you have faith in yourself and the divine, you will move through those moments with more ease. That's why Jesus was like, I don't want to, God, can this cup pass from me? And he says, well, whatever, thy will be done, because he had faith in the story, in his role in the story, right? Didn't make it easy. He was sweating fucking blood in Gethsemane. Having faith brings serenity and confidence to trust and go with the flow. When you have faith, the choice is made easy with clarity. There is no need to fight, control, and struggle because you trust in yourself to know what you are heading in, that you're heading in the right direction. Have faith. And fight, control, struggle, that's the shadow of the moon in Aries and the Scorpio Mercury. where it's like you want to control things, you want to fight things, you want to have your way and stuff. And it's like, yo, just submit to the flow, let the waters wash over you, enjoy it. Like Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump, you can thrash, but at some point you have to like just let go and be at peace, and just be knowing that there's something beyond you that is part of you. So it's this weird hyperdimensional paradox. But the point is, have faith, right? This, let it be. Have faith. So that's coming in from Dreams of Gaia. Let's see what the Galactic Heritage cards have in store. I'm excited about, I'm going to be doing a full moon, I guess, ritual with the Alex Gray cards like I always do. That'll happen a little later. I love reading those cards because they're magical, A, and B, Alex Gray is an amazing artist, and he put a lot of effort and thought, it seems, into the descriptions of the cards, and it goes through kind of a journey of all the levels of physical, like biological material stuff, as well as magical, as well as supernatural, kind of metaphysical elements, prana, grids, and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Leaving home. We've got Esasani. And if you're not familiar with Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anka and others, but that is an Esasani channel. So, leaving home. And that is kind of like the full fulfillment, like you're going on a new grow quest, right? Have faith that you're on the right path, and as we come into a full moon, we can release what was and say thank you and move into a new cycle. So, Esasani parallel leaving home 104. The Esasani, a cross between humans and Zetas, eventually had to integrate all their lessons, evolve as a species, and leave home, walking into their own future and finding their own path. That's the sovereignty of the moon in Aries, where it's like, I need to do what I need to do. It needs to be in right relationship with others, and it needs to be balanced and healthy, Libra Sun, but at the same time, you're walking your path. No one can walk your path for you. Walking in their own future and finding their own path. Humanity is facing this challenge now as we struggle to find ourselves. I think we're all in a kind of an identity crisis right now. And I mean, whether it's political, spiritual, economic, whatever, we're kind of trying to figure out what makes sense and what's authentic to us. You must do your spiritual homework. Make conscious and courageous choices and find your own path. Do not fear who you truly are. Why? Because you've got to have faith. You got to have faith. Ooh. Guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. Anyway, Ace of Cups, right? Drink forth a deep, authentic gulp of your own flavor of Gatorade. You have a flavor that you want and nobody else maybe wants it. That's okay. Have faith that we're all drinking from the cups that we need and they're all moving towards a higher fulfillment of the dream as it stands in the eternal now. You kind of get what I'm saying. You must do your spiritual homework, make conscious and courageous choices. Libra, make decisions, right? A sun, and find your own path, Aries, moon. Do not fear who you truly are. This represents the potential for a new birth and the importance of consciously creating a future starting now. A new birth? You mean the birth of the waters, the Ace of Cups? A rebirth, a baptism, like when you get dunked, you're like, I'm a new creature, praise God, or whatever, right? The Esasani species is a hybrid of human and Zeta and is highly evolved, but they did not have role models in the same way we do. And our role models are pretty shoddy, as is evidenced by recent American political debates. They were true pioneers. Their evolutionary path was very lonely in some ways, and that is the moon in Aries. It can be very isolating itself and alone. I'm on this by myself. That's an illusion, but it can feel very real sometimes, right? They were true pioneers, also the pioneering spirit of the warrior of Aries, moon. Their evolutionary path was very lonely in some ways, and they had to consistently walk into the unknown. If you pull this card, its messages can vary. Most likely, the card is telling you that you may have to leave home metaphorically like a teenager does when he or she becomes an adult. That is literally where we are as a species right now. That we're going from the womb to our baby steps, basically. Like, it's time to become who we are in a species. We're evolving as a species, going from our heads into our hearts more, which is kind of crazy because it's kind of been there before, but not in as evolved way. So now we have a lot of knowledge and quote wisdom or whatever, but now we're going to have to come to a wisdom of the heart. And then ultimately we're going to have to step into our role as a species on Earth, in the galactic situation, in the kingdom of God, however you want to put that. Like we're starting to put on our big boy pants, big girl pants, right? It's time to become an adult. You may have to make some choices to walk a path that is solitary, but authentic for you. This is where having faith. You got to be like, well, you know what? Everyone says Don't go to Dagobah, Luke. It's a waste of fucking time, but I gotta go because I think Yoda's there and I need to do that for my path of initiation. Han doesn't have to go to Dagobah. Leia doesn't have to go to Dagobah. I have to go to Dagobah in the form of Luke Skywalker, right? So you have to do solitary moments, maybe, that are choices, Libra Sun, authentic, though, for you, rather than what society, religion, or family pressures you to choose. So don't just listen to the peanut gallery all the time. It's helpful to get, with the Sun in Libra, it's helpful to get information from others, but they can't walk your path for you. You have to walk your fucking path. You have to leave home. That's the security of others doing things for you. Mom and dad are doing this for me. Now it's like, well, I've got to, that doesn't mean fuck mom and dad and I hate them and they're the devil or whatever. It means like, okay, I love them and I thank them for what they've done, and now I step into a power of authenticity so I can be my own parent and guide my own inner child while maintaining a balance of still being in right relationship with those other people that have helped you get where you are. Like being grateful, essentially, right? Don't just be a snide little, like, fuck it all. That could be the shadow of Aries moon, where it's just like, I got to do what I want, and fuck, I'm going to burn everybody down, and I'm going for it. And there's, like, that can be too hard in the paint sometimes, if that makes sense. Like, include compassion and grace for yourself and your journey, as well as those who've gotten to you where you are, because you needed everything that's happened to get you where you are right now. You are a culmination of the alchemy and the processes that got you here. There's no mistakes. Step forward confidently in the journey, drink deep of that cup of Ace of Cups, and have faith that you're exactly where you need to be at all times, even when it's not comfortable. Even if you find yourself in a prison cell getting the shit beaten out of you, Paul is like, hey, this is part of my fucking journey. And he gets escape, break out of jail free card with some angels or whatever the story says. However, there is a warning. If you choose to walk a unique path that is different from those around you, Aries moon, opposing the sun in Libra, right? If you're going to go against the grain and do your own fucking thing, which is good at times in certain ways, make sure you're doing it graciously. Make sure it is done because this path is authentic and an authentic expression of for you and of you, rather than rebellion against what you don't like, right? So Luke Skywalker went to Dagobah because he felt it was an authentic expression of his journey, as opposed to being like, you know what, fuck y'all, I'm gonna go join the Death Star because I'm sick of this shit and I'm over y'all. Like, he didn't rebel. He had to do what was authentic for him. Simultaneously, it wasn't coming from a spirit of rebelliousness in a non positive, in a negatively polarized way, right? This is a very important distinction. Rebelliousness always attaches you to unhealed issues. Perhaps this card is telling you that it's time to begin to embrace your own unique, authentic self. This unique, authentic self is not an expression of ego. It is simply an expression of the natural flow of the universe working through the physical expression of you on Earth at this plane, on this Earth plane. You're flowing as a cup, and things are flowing through you. Have faith that all things are good, and don't just fight to fight. It's tricky, paradoxical, because there's seasons of rebelliousness, but you have to grow out of those at some point, or else you make really selfish decisions that aren't for the benefit of all. Ultimately, all good anyway. But like, you see my point. Like, you can go down real weird side quests that way. This unique, authentic self is not an expression of ego. It's not coming from the mind. It's coming from the heart. It is simply an expression of the flow of the universe working through the physical expression of you on Earth plane. No matter which meaning is appropriate, listen closely for the inner whisperings about the next step. In the end, we all must have the courage, that's the moon in Aries, having courage of a warrior, to leave home in order to recognize our true home, which is ultimately in a paradoxical way where we've always been, but we have to have the grace, right, to drink deep of our own authentic cup. It's just like in Indiana Jones, where there's like all sorts of cups, and the guy has to follow his gut and be like, that's the one that Christ drank from. And even though he chose poorly in that movie, it's like he still made his choice. He had the boldness to have faith in his decisions, even though you make mistakes in that case, right? And he was going for the most gaudy thing. He's like, surely the King of Kings would drink from this insanely beautiful chalice. And it's like, nah, he was probably really drinking from a wooden thing because he's a carpenter and all this kind of stuff. So we're leaving home. We're leaving what we've known, whether it's politically and like two-party systems. I think we're starting to shift away from that. We're starting to see this isn't what we really want. We're starting to leave from the security of governments and corporations telling us what to buy and how to feel and think, right? And that served a purpose. It's kind of like an embryo, and it said, here's how to be and how to think, and it's cool. We grew, and now we're having to kind of differentiate. That's what the point of leaving home is. It's like you get raised by a family and then you get out. But don't do it out of just straight up rebelliousness, because then you have this bitter battle of karma that you're having to deal with because of resentments and lashing out and all this kind of stuff, anger. You don't want to leave home in anger, right? It reminds me a lot of the Beatles song, She's Leaving Home, I think. And it's like she's sad to leave home, but she knows she has to go on this journey. I'm gonna cry because it's a really beautiful song. Um, Maybe I should play that song. It's off of I think Sergeant Pepper's. But the point is, like, the mother and father, like, we did everything we could. We gave her money, all this stuff, and she's like, it's like some things money can't buy. I got to go do my own thing with this guy. We're leaving at the fucking crack of dawn. Deuces. And it's not because she hates her parents. It's because that situation was no longer feeding her soul. Ace of Cups. Like, she had to go in faith with this guy and start a new journey, leaving home. Great Beatles song. If you don't know it, check it out. I'll post it in the comments. It's well worth a listen to. Very somber kind of song. So for the animal card, we got groundedness, armadillo. And that is very helpful right now because I think a lot of people feel probably ungrounded. And we have to do our job to embody and ground with all this kind of ratchet, like, tenacious energy. With, like, I got to go do stuff. It's like, nah, right now we have to just breathe and be. Groundedness. Without grounding ourselves, we can become disconnected and flighty. So there's an important aspect to develop. Go to the basics first. Plug into the power of the earth. Avoid drama in situations. Avoid, that would be the shadow of the full moon in Aries, where it's like you're being dramatic, it's opposing Libra. It's like you're just lashing out because you want to be yourself in relationship, and it's at the expense of others. Fuck them. I'm me, I do me. It's like, that's true. Do it well. Like, do it wisely. Do it with kindness and compassion for yourself and others. Avoid drama in situations. Sometimes we need to look at the flowers at our feet before looking to the stars. Humility is a positive trait. False humility is not. Mythos. The god walks slowly but surely upon the earth. He is of high age and leans a little on his walking stick but moves smoothly. His shoes are heavy and they feel the earth with every step. This grandfather, M-A-M, mom, is wise and eternal, but make no mistake, age does not mean weakness, for he is powerful. He wears the hat of the bird of the night, for he walks from the underworld. He has the ears of a jaguar, for he is one who powerfully walks through the darkness of nights. The darkest of nights. He wears the cape of an armadillo shell, for he is protected and grounded and carries all he needs with him. A man of magic, he smokes the herbs of vision, yet can weave the worlds together while being sure upon his feet. This, according to the classification of codical gods, is one of the major pre-Spanish Mayan deities, God El. God El is featured in many Mayan artworks, but specifically the most famous has him walking around the door of the sanctuary at Palenque. The Mayans put special consideration into the depiction of their gods, with every single piece of clothing signifying the character and qualities of the deity. The armadillo with its shell indicated not only an animal of the ground, but the protection of a shield. It is thought, then, that God El was related to war. His special shoes and walking stick indicate a trader and someone who has to move over distances in a safe and steady way. God El may have had a role in the building of prosperity through trade. Armadillos also feature in the mythos of the Aztecs, who called them turtle rabbits, and some of the First Nation stories of the people of the southern United States. Hold on. I thought I heard something, but I have no clue what I heard. All right. Maybe geese, maybe construction workers. The animal, armadillos, are distinctive animals because of their leathery armored shell, an incredible adaptation that enabled them to hold on through lengthy evolution. The armor is actually overlapping plates of bone covered with horn called scutes. The scutes are rigid, particularly over the front half of the animal, and typically become more flexible over the back legs and tail. The underneath of the animal is furry and unarmored. Contrary to popular belief, only a few armadillo species actually roll up in a ball if threatened by a predator. Most will attempt to run and find some thick ground plant or stone cover where they will be very hard to get at. Armadillos get their food from the earth, and so their claws are perfectly adept to effective digging. Grubs, ants, and termites are favored. They also use the claws to dig their dens or burrows, where they spend their time while not looking for food. Babies are born in dens, which helps them thermoregulate as their body temperatures are low. There are around 21 species of armadillo. The largest is the giant armadillo at around 1.5 meters long and 54 kilograms in weight, and the smallest armadillo only measures 13 to 15 centimeters. The magic. Armadillo magic is profoundly earth-based and grounded. It is ancient and profound and can be used when you are feeling off-kilter and unsure, when you're not sure how to make an action, the shadow of Moon and Aries, and when you're off-balance, off-kilter, the shadow of the Sun and Libra, and they are opposing right now, so you might be feeling a little bit of both. Call in. If you aren't sure what to do next, you're indecisive, or you have had a trauma or a shock, and you're kind of just like, I don't know who I am, I don't believe in myself, oh my gosh, and you're not sure how to leave home, and you're feeling like you don't have a whole lot of faith, and you don't want to even take a drink because you feel like you're going to throw up if you have another sip, maybe it's time to call on the armadillo, right? To bring stability and power. Stability, Sun in Libra, power, Aries moon. Straight up. Symbology is old man with a cape of armadillo, shield, armor, claws in the earth. Status, some species are listed as vulnerable. Most are threatened. Derp. It's always funny to me because it's like, it's sad. It's just our ignorance can lead to so many animals not having the ability to thrive. So, derp is why I said that. Salvador Dali. The magic of a full moon. I would love no one else but Salvador Dali to help us today. So what advice are we getting from this Spanish psychonaut? Probably, but he was I am drugs, so who knows if he really did drugs. He was kind of drugs himself, right? Salvador Dali was a technical wunderkind and a relentless bombast who led European surrealist movement mustache first, taking the charge, right? Leaving home of the comforts of the creative kind of trappings and scene. Like he started his own scene. He had faith in his creativity. And creativity is the Ace of Cups. He was overflowing with it. He had so much going on that, like, straight up, like, he was creating new paradigms, right? He was very grounded in who he was. He wasn't worried. He wasn't like, am I weird? Am I being weird? Right? Dali scavenged his innermost hallucinations to create his frighteningly detailed paintings of subconscious imagery and wild experimentation in film. He was deeply inspired by discoveries made in his lifetime. The discoveries of what? The warrior of the time, like, right? So it's like Aries moon, like people pushing the boundaries. From Freud to quantum mechanics. When not working, Dali was either apologizing for his publicity stunts, apologizing for apologizing, or refusing to apologize. That sounds like Libra Sun. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, and then kind of coming back and being like, no, I'm not actually sorry, and then being kind of bellicose about it, and being like, I'm really not sorry, fuck y'all. Aries moon. The persistence of memory. Dali's most cited painting depicts a desert of melting clocks, all telling a different time. Government officials use this painting to train undercover narcs to chill during a bad trip. But it's the tongue-in-cheek nature of these cards is part of the reason I love them. So, being Dali is inspiration enough, is the advice we're getting from Salvador. You don't have to be, you are perfectly formed the way you are. You just have to accept your cup and drink deeply from it. You don't have to copy anybody else's style. You don't, I mean, nobody's doing anything original. There's nothing original under the sun in a sense. But you're here to be you and do you. Nicely, like play well with others. Have faith that you've been formed in such a way that you're perfectly suited for every challenge, every joy, every disappointment, every luxury, you see my point. Everything that's happening to you is the cup you choose. Choose wisely, as they say in Indiana Jones, and in a weird way, you've pre-incarnationally chosen your situation, so you're kind of figuring out why you've made the choice according to the Matrix. It's like, oh, you made the choice, now you have to see why. You're drank from a cup, and that's this incarnation, right? Have faith that all the levels of this incarnation are working forward to what? Weaning you off, basically codependence and ignorance, codependence to ignorance, if you want to put it that way, into full adulthood spiritually. You're leaving home. You're becoming more and more what? Independent. Aries moon. You're becoming more and more what? Like balanced and harmonious with yourself and others and accepting and helpful and beautiful, right? Ground. The armadillo is saying ground. Like you can be yourself. Being Dali is inspiration enough. Like, you don't have to reach to be anything you're not. You have different challenges. This sounds weird, but it's like you have different levels of achievement within your own character, but you don't have to look at everybody else's character to see what you need to do. Drink deep from your own creative well. Bring the waters of your life to the scene. Have faith that what you're bringing is unique, because it is. And in that uniqueness, you can celebrate with others their uniqueness and all rise up. That's the whole point of the fucking up. Where we're at in the apocalypse. We're all having to respect. Like, I don't like Trump, but I can deal with it. I don't love Joe Biden. I can deal with it. I'm not even political at this point. I have to have faith that, like, the waters of the birth are coming, and I have to have faith that this too shall pass. We're leaving home. A lot of these institutions and people don't really fully represent us. They've served their purposes, and we're breaking out of the amniotic fluids, right? We're being born into a new place. So we need to be taking deep breaths and grounding into our body, grounding into our own paths, and being authentic to the degree where we know we're enough. If you come from a place of that kind of certainty, kind of like Obi-Wan is like, Darth, you can strike me down, but I'm enough. Like, I'll be more than you can imagine, because your imagination isn't big enough. You're not dreaming big enough. Your cup isn't big enough to hold what I am. then if you come into it like that, you're going to be like, shit, slings and stones can break my bones, but I am enough. Like the situation doesn't matter, but I have more than enough imagination, love, capacity, um, tenacity, all these things to get through the dream that we're having, right? So don't just look around and be like, oh, what does Paris Hilton think? Oh my gosh, what does Bill Nye think? Or what does Oprah think? Or all these people externalize their power a lot to others and say, I will believe what they believe. Um, Stand firm in who you are. And you're inspiring enough. Just do you in a nice, compassionate, kind way, right? That's the trick, like being balanced and harmonious, not just a warrior who's like, I do what I want, fuck you, deal with it. Be like, I do what I want, deal with it, and then like smile and walk on. It's like a little different, right? Have faith that everything is happening for a reason beyond even the human fucking mental constructs of reason. So it's things, we're getting into levels of reality where it's like cycles within cycles and gods and angels and aliens and stuff. It's like this is a big dream we're in. So it's get ready to graduate soon. That's kind of what we're at right now. It's like who's ready to graduate because we're gonna graduate. Ground into that, right? Ground into your body. Ground into your faith, your vision of who you want to be. Ground into your role. But hold on loosely simultaneously, if you see my point. Being Dali is inspirational enough so you don't have to be anything you aren't. Enjoy the process of becoming. That's what we're here for. The Ace of Cups, like birthing into new paradigms. And this is an internal process, right? Plants turn into animals. Animals turn into people. People turn into fucking angels and aliens. Aliens, like all the way up. That's the journey we're on. So enjoy the ride. We've got azurite. 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 What it is, meditative and dreamy. Azurite is a soft, powdery to prismatic, rich blue, copper-infused mineral. We actually pulled copper the other day, so this has copper in it. Interesting. Oh, well, that's the other card that's just shown here, copper. But of course. Who needs it? The materialistic, vain, and always craving. That's not a judgment. That's almost all of us. Leos especially. So the materialistic people who are worried about how to be in the world. People who are, grounding in illusions, basically, right? People who are worried about impressing others and not being their true authentic self. Where to put it? Alongside the spiritual shovel you're using to dig your way out of the prison of worry, indecision, and desire you've constructed around yourself. Desire, that Aries is like, I'm going to impulsively go after what I want. Indecision, the Libra sun, right? We're trying to get around some of these shadows. We're working through shadows to get to the gifts and cities, to paraphrase the Gene Key. When to use it? When material pleasures aren't giving you the buzz they used to. When it's time to take a break from snapping selfies and chasing shiny things. You could take off shallowness. Or you could shake off shallowness. Start with your breath. That's the groundedness. Then dive into the deep end, right? Dive into the deep waters. Ace of Cups. Have faith in that dive. You don't need water wings anymore because guess what? We're leaving home. Take a deep dive into the depths of the deep end. I'm kind of forgetting where it is. There, yeah. Then dive deep into the deep end with Azurite. Explore your hidden depths. That is kind of what we're being called to do. With a full moon in Aries, we're being told to see the full emotional reality of who we think we are, to make some changes. With Sun in Libra, the Sun opposing this full moon, we have the ability to be like, is who I am helping the world? Or am I just thrashing about saying, look at me, wow, I post selfies and I do this and I do this, look at me, I do me. It's like that impulsiveness, we need to chill for a minute and be like, we're a part of a big pageantry. Like there's a lot of other characters, there's a lot of other things going on. Being aware of that can be part of this, right? Exploring, but doing that through exploring your hidden depths, your individuality, right? So you have a cup that nobody else is drinking from, but we all are drinking from a cup. Have faith that everyone's drinking to their full, and that we're all kind of evolving. We're leaving home, right? Ground into your body through breath, through chakra meditations. That's why I bring up the chakra stuffs. Through understanding where you are in life, time, space. That's the whole point of knowing astrology. Hit me up for an astrology reading if you ever want to know who you are, who your individuality is, so you know how to better operate without kind of just reacting. You can respond to life well and appropriately through your own pre-programming, if you want to put it that way, blueprinting, as opposed to just kind of thrashing about. Aries moon. Ground. Like be in the thing, right? Being Dali is inspiration enough, so you are everything you ever needed to be, and in a weird, tripped out way, it's like we've chosen to come into a place where we forgot who we are, and we're going through polarity, and we're like, oh my gosh, we have to learn. Just chill, be accepting the grace of all that is, be creative, Be loving, be universal love, and explore your hidden depths. Because there's more mystery to you and me and the universe than we'll ever consciously know with our monkey minds. It is a big mystery, and we're participators in that divine, beautiful mystery. So, I'm trying to think what I want to do. I guess I'll jam because my electric guitar's set up. I was going to play like She's Leaving Home or something by the Beatles, but I'm not going to do that because I'm being impulsive, some Aries Moon shit, and I am going to play some fucking music. Sorry, I of course set up my guitar, but I didn't set up the other stuff, so I'm going to kind of put a blanket up to hold this up. If you only knew how ghetto rigged my situation was, you'd appreciate it. Say, wow, he's really doing this. All right, so put down the microphone. Gotta put down the ducky. All right, hopefully that works. Ace of Cups on a new day. I mean, talk about refreshing. It's like October 1st. We have a new moment. Drink deep. With a full moon, we can release quite a bit of what? Self. Our shadows of impulsiveness, our shadows of addiction, our shadows of fear. Not being enough. Right? All that kind of gobbledygook. So, we'll play some. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my gosh. You get the idea. So, with the Ace of Cups, hold on. With the Ace of Cups, we have the ability to transcend through what? Waters of mystical initiation. Through heart, through spirituality, right? And with a full moon, with a full moon, we have the ability to really tap into what we want to release, right? So, of ourselves, Aries, full moon, like what is blocking us from being our full self? What's blocking us from journeying? Is it the impressions of fear of what others think? We want to be authentic to our journey and authentic to ourself. Our holy grail is going to look different than everybody else's. Drink deep from your holy grail, right? Have the passion and tenacity and willingness to explore your hidden depths with Azurite, right? Have what? Faith. Like, I didn't know where that jam was going to go, and it wasn't exactly what I expected, but I still let it flow, right? I had faith that it would turn out to what it needed to be, and it wasn't like the best music ever, but it's cool. That's something that never existed before. Huzzah, right? So, leave home, leave your comfort zones. Do it in a way that's grounded, balanced. Libra Sun, in your breath, in your body, in yourself, right? But, like, be willing to sacrifice your idea of what self is at some level. Paradox, lose yourself to gain yourself, right? You die. That's the whole Christian thing. In Buddhism, you die to yourself and you become who you really are. We have all these ego attachments and cultural attachments and things that we do who aren't really us because we want to please others. It's from a distorted self-love. We don't fully accept ourselves, so we, do things basically to please others and hopefully bring about our feelings of goodness. You can feel good independently of others. It includes others, so don't just think it's all your thing, but you have to walk your path. You can't just let other people, you got to walk your path. No one else is going to walk your path for you. You got to drink from your cup. You got to be you. You are here as a node on Indra's net to be yourself. Have faith that you chose wisely and that everything from the flaws to the gifts that you have, quote unquote gifts and flaws, are exactly what this whole dream needs. Leave your childish and codependent and limited thinking and your ignorance and step into a new level, right? Step into a dream, a new level of the dream. Leave home, leave securities that are false, that are not even helpful. You have the strength to do this through grounding, like embodiment, right? And ultimately, being Dali is inspiration enough. You are exactly who you need to be, and we need you to be who you are. I need to be who I am. There's many levels to that, and it's always a changing dynamic thing. So hit me up for readings if you want to know who you are and what you should be doing, that kind of thing. Explore your hidden depths. That's what astrology does. It shows us the depths of our blueprint of our character. That character can wear all sorts of clothes, have different weapons, learn different skills, but there's something essential about that character that we're here to experience fully, to drink deeply from. Have faith that you've never made a mistake, even in the mistakes. Have faith that even the best gifts you have will come and go. Right? And it's beautiful while it's here. Leave the insecurities, leave the codependencies, leave the illusions. And also step into the power with groundedness. With a full moon in Aries, we need to be making sure and the sun in Libra, we need to be making sure we're doing this for ourselves and others. Being the strongest warrior we can be for ourselves and the world around us. But not just being a warrior who kills because of bloodlust or kills because it's fun or whatever, right? Like, let's do it for a good, grounded reason. Enjoy who you are. It's inspiring enough. You don't have to be anybody but you. And keep exploring who you are with Azurite. Explore your hidden depths. There's a lot to you that you never knew existed, but it's always been there. So hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, hit me up for readings if you want. They're always fun to give. The podcast history is Ratchet. Check it out if you want to kind of check out some serious Team Rabbit Hole stuff. I had 2 guests on, a UN worker as well as a activist, a freedom fighter in Austria. So that's very fascinating stuff. And today we got some podcasts. But bottom line, y'all, enjoy who you are well. Witness well. Have faith that everything is working out to the glory of love itself. What's not love? What's not grace, right? Leave your shell, leave your home, leave your security blanket, leave those Forrest Gump leg braces and start running on your own 2 feet. You can do it. You have to be grounded in order to do that. Like, he didn't just run. He had to build up some muscles in his legs before he just ran like that. That's why he had leg braces in Forrest Gump at all. But he was and it's funny because Forrest Gump was kind of this bland character who was always in the right place at the right time. It's like, oh, I'm at fucking Martin Luther King speech, and oh my gosh, I'm here, and oh my gosh, I'm there, Woodstock, or whatever's going on. I don't think he was at Woodstock, but you see my point. Have faith that what you're doing is inspiring enough. You don't have to go seek anything. What you seek is already in you. Explore those depths. Explore your hidden depths with Azurite. All right. Adios.